Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we'll be going through some poses and exercises to help those of us with weak knees and looking to strengthen them. So to begin, we'll start off with a quick warm-up by meeting me in a standing position with your feet together, hands up by your side, and you're going to just gently bend your knees, lowering your hips down to a point where your knees go past your toes. Then as soon as you reach that, with your left leg, you're going to stick your leg out, straightening it to as far out so you can still keep your heel on the mat. And then when you reach that point, you're just going to stand up, straightening your right leg, keeping your left straight, and bring it back to center. Going to for the same on the other side, bending both knees so you can't see your toes anymore, straightening your right leg so you can still keep your heel on the ground, and then straightening your left leg. I'm going to go through that exercise for 4 more times on each side. So bending your legs, straightening your left, and standing up straight. 1, 2, 3, and last one. 4. Great stuff. Next one, we can go through something similar to a chair pose. So once more, lowering your hips down as low as you can till your knees just go past your toes. You can lift your hands up above your head, and you're just going to float your heels off the mat, going forward so you go onto your toes. And then on, like previously before, you're just going to straighten both legs going onto your toes and bring your heels back down. Once more, lowering your hips, leaning forward onto your toes, and then straightening your legs. Going through that through 3 more rounds. And last one. Great. From here, you can stand close to the back of the mat. I'm going to go into a high lunge. So stepping forward with your right foot, keeping your back knee slightly bent so you can keep your back heel off the ground and have all your toes facing forward. You're going to lift your hands up above your head and making sure to keep your knee above your ankle, legs engaged, core engaged, just keeping everything nice and stable as we hold this pose. And if you want a bit of a deeper stretch in your back leg, you can try and maybe just straighten your back leg out a little bit, but it's not necessary. You hold this pose for 3 full breaths. And then shifting our back foot slightly forward so we can straighten both our legs with our toes still facing forward, hands behind our back. We're going to go into a pyramid pose. So keeping our back nice and straight, we're going to hinge our upper bodies forward, bringing our chest down as close to our legs as possible, while still keeping our back nice and straight. You start feeling a nice deep stretch in your back of your leg and especially behind your knees. And straightening up, we can move on to the other side. Left foot coming forward, back heel coming off the mat. So lift our hands up above our head and keeping a slight bend in our back knee, or maybe straightening it out to whichever is most comfortable. Straightening our front out, shifting our back leg slightly forward, making sure both heels on the mat, toes facing forward. We just hinge our whole body forward, coming into another pyramid. Going as far forward as you can and just holding it as we focus on our breath. And back up straight. You can now face the side of your mat with your legs out just slightly wider than your hips. So we're going to start lowering our hips down, keeping our toes facing forward, coming into a bit of a horse stance, holding our hands up to us as we hold the pose, making sure to keep our legs and knees nice and strong. Holding for 5 full breaths. And then straightening your legs out, you're just going to hinge your whole body forward, like with pyramid, keeping your back nice and straight as we go into a nice wide-legged forward fold. Going as far forward, just keep everything nice and stable. And then shifting your upper body towards the left, you're going to try and reach over and grab your left foot, just gently pulling your body closer to your left leg. Shifting over to the right, doing the same on the other side. Then releasing your right leg, and come meet me up in a standing position, keeping your legs still wide. You can maybe even just shift them a little bit wider out as we shift our bodies over to the left, coming into a side stretch. From here, you can either lift your toes up. You just go as deep as you can, not making sure not to put too much pressure on your legs and your thighs. If you just try and aim to go into a skandasana, bring our whole bodies down and making sure to try and keep your heel on the mat. If you can't go that far and you have to keep your heels up off the ground, that's fine. And you can even keep your hands on the ground for a little bit of a balance. Then we can shift our weight over to the right as we go into the same pose. Once more, pointing your left toes up, keeping your right leg grounded. We just go as low as we can, aiming to bring our whole bodies down to the ground. And if we can't keep our heel grounded, we can just use the ground as balance, keeping our back heel off the mat. And with that, we can just bring our left leg closer to us as we move on to our last pose for a yogi squat, malasana, having our elbows push our knees just slightly out. If you need a little bit of extra support, you can use a block or a pillow just to have something for your hips to rest on. And with that, we can end our practice. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it was quite short, but it's something you guys can practice a couple times a week just to get your legs moving and get some movement and exercises in your knees. And hopefully you should start seeing more improvements as you go along. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys again next time on the yoga mat.